What if everything you thought you knew about ancient Babylon was only the tip of the iceberg? Picture this, a city so grand, so mysterious, that its secrets have been buried for thousands of years, waiting to be uncovered. Babylon, one of history's most legendary civilizations, is often remembered for its towering ziggurats, the Hanging Gardens, and the infamous Tower of Babel. But what if I told you there's so much more to this ancient wonder than meets the eye? Today, we're diving deep into the shadows of history to reveal 25 intriguing facts about Babylon that you've likely never heard before. From its groundbreaking innovations to its enigmatic rituals, Babylon's story is a tapestry of power, mystery, and intrigue. So, are you ready to step into the past and uncover the secrets of a civilization that shaped the world as we know it? Let's begin this journey together. Now, let's turn our attention to one of Babylon's most iconic wonders, or is it? The Hanging Gardens of Babylon have long been celebrated as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, a breathtaking feat of engineering and beauty. But here's where things get intriguing. Some historians argue that these legendary gardens might not have been in Babylon at all. Instead, they propose that the gardens were actually located in Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire. This theory challenges everything we thought we knew about Babylon's grandeur. So, what's the evidence? Ancient texts, including writings by Greek historians like Strabo and Diodorus Siculus, describe the gardens in vivid detail, but their accounts don't always align with the geography of Babylon. For instance, the water systems required to sustain such lush gardens would have been incredibly complex, and some researchers believe that Nineveh's advanced aqueducts and irrigation systems make it a more plausible location. Additionally, archaeological findings in Nineveh, such as depictions of terraced gardens and water-lifting devices, seem to support this theory. This idea doesn't just shake up our understanding of the Hanging Gardens, it also raises questions about how history is written and remembered. Could it be that centuries of storytelling and cultural pride have tied the gardens to Babylon, even if they belonged elsewhere? It's a fascinating reminder that history is often more layered and mysterious than it seems. And as we continue our journey through Babylon's secrets, this is just the first of many surprises waiting to be uncovered. Now, shifting our focus from the mysteries of the Hanging Gardens, let's step into the realm of Babylon's legendary defenses. The walls of Babylon were nothing short of an engineering marvel, designed not just to protect the city but to awe anyone who laid eyes on them. Ancient accounts, including those by the Greek historian Herodotus, describe these walls as being so massive that chariots could race atop them. Imagine that a wall so wide and sturdy it could double as a racetrack. These walls weren't just thick, they were a testament to Babylon's ingenuity and ambition. Built primarily from baked bricks and bitumen, a natural tar-like substance, the walls were designed to withstand both time and attack. The outer wall alone was said to stretch over 56 miles in length, with an inner wall adding another layer of protection. Towers were strategically placed along the walls, providing vantage points for guards to spot any approaching threats. But the walls were more than just a defensive structure. They were a symbol of Babylon's power and grandeur. Standing tall and imposing, they sent a clear message to enemies and allies alike. Babylon was a city of unmatched strength and sophistication. The walls also played a role in the city's daily life, with gates like the famous Ishtar Gate serving as both entry points and ceremonial landmarks. What's truly remarkable is how these walls reflected the mindset of the Babylonians. They didn't just build for function, they built to inspire. The walls were a physical manifestation of their belief in their city's invincibility, a belief that would echo through the ages. As we peel back the layers of Babylon's history, these walls remind us that even the most practical structures can carry profound meaning. And with that, let's move forward to uncover yet another fascinating aspect of this ancient city. Now, as we step through the grandeur of Babylon's walls, let's pause at one of its most breathtaking landmarks, the Ishtar Gate. This iconic structure wasn't just a gateway into the city, it was a masterpiece of art, religion, and symbolism. Picture this: towering walls covered in a dazzling blue glaze, shimmering under the Mesopotamian sun. This vibrant blue wasn't just for show. It was made from lapis lazuli, a precious stone that symbolized divinity and power in Babylonian culture. The gate's decorations were equally striking. Along its walls, you'd find intricate depictions of dragons and bulls, each carrying deep symbolic meaning. The dragon, known as the Mus letter 1 E2 Bus U, was a hybrid creature with the body of a serpent, the forelegs of a lion, and the hind legs of an eagle. It was associated with Marduk, Babylon's chief god, representing protection and divine authority. The bull, on the other hand, was linked to Adad, the god of storms, symbolizing strength and fertility. Together, these images weren't just decorative. They were a visual language communicating the city's connection to its gods and its role as a center of cosmic order. But the Ishtar Gate was more than a religious symbol. It was a statement of cultural identity. Every brick, every color, and every figure was carefully chosen to reflect Babylon's pride and sophistication. The gate also played a key role in the city's New Year festival, a grand celebration where statues of the gods were paraded through its arches. This ritual reinforced the gate's significance as a bridge between the human and divine realms. What's fascinating is how the Ishtar Gate's symbolism has endured. Even today, its imagery inspires awe, reminding us of Babylon's ability to blend art, religion, and power into a single, unforgettable monument. As we move forward, let's explore how Babylon's influence extended beyond its walls, shaping the very stars above. Now, let's turn our gaze upward, beyond the walls and gates of Babylon, to the night sky, a canvas that Babylonian astronomers studied with remarkable precision. These ancient stargazers weren't just looking at the stars, they were mapping the heavens, creating a legacy that would shape astronomy for centuries to come. Babylonian astronomers were among the first to systematically observe and record celestial movements. They meticulously tracked the positions of stars and planets, compiling detailed records that allowed them to predict astronomical events with surprising accuracy. One of their most impressive achievements was predicting eclipses. By identifying patterns in the moon's cycles, they could forecast lunar and solar eclipses, a feat that required both advanced mathematical skills and a deep understanding of celestial mechanics. But their contributions didn't stop there. The Babylonians also developed one of the earliest known zodiac systems, dividing the sky into 12 equal parts, each associated with a constellation. This system wasn't just about astrology, it was a practical tool for tracking time and seasons. Their zodiac laid the groundwork for the Greek zodiac, which later spread across the Mediterranean and became a cornerstone of Western astrology. What's truly remarkable is how their work influenced later civilizations. The Greeks, for instance, built upon Babylonian astronomical knowledge, adopting their star charts and mathematical methods. Even today, the echoes of Babylonian astronomy can be seen in our modern understanding of the cosmos. As we marvel at their achievements, it's worth noting that Babylonian astronomy wasn't just a scientific endeavor, it was deeply intertwined with their culture and religion. The stars were seen as divine messages, and their movements were believed to reflect the will of the gods. This blend of science and spirituality highlights the unique way Babylonians viewed their place in the universe. With their eyes fixed on the heavens, Babylonian astronomers left a legacy that continues to inspire us. Next, we'll explore how their innovations extended beyond the stars, shaping the very foundations of law and justice in the ancient world. Now, let's shift our focus from the stars to the ground, where the foundations of justice were being laid in ancient Babylon. One of the most enduring legacies of this civilization is the Code of Hammurabi, a groundbreaking legal system that continues to influence how we think about law and fairness today. Hammurabi's code, carved into a massive stone stele, is one of the earliest known sets of written laws. It was created by King Hammurabi around 1750 BCE, and it covered everything from property disputes to family matters, trade regulations, and even criminal justice. What makes this code so fascinating is how it introduced principles that still underpin modern legal systems. One of the most striking examples is the concept of innocent until proven guilty. While this idea is often associated with modern legal traditions, its roots can be traced back to Hammurabi's code. The laws emphasized the importance of evidence and fair trials, requiring accusers to provide proof of wrongdoing before punishment could be administered. This principle was revolutionary for its time and laid the groundwork for the presumption of innocence we value today. Another key aspect of Hammurabi's code was its focus on proportionality in punishment. The famous phrase, "an eye for an eye," originated here, but it wasn't just about retribution. It was about ensuring that penalties matched the severity of the crime. This idea of balanced justice remains a cornerstone of legal systems worldwide, but the code wasn't without its flaws. It was highly stratified, with different punishments for different social classes, reflecting the inequalities of Babylonian society. Yet, even with these limitations, Hammurabi's code represented a significant step toward a more organized and systematic approach to law. What's truly remarkable is how these ancient principles continue to resonate. Modern legal systems, from civil law to common law, owe a debt to Hammurabi's vision of justice. His code reminds us that the pursuit of fairness and order is a timeless human endeavor, one that transcends cultures and centuries. As we reflect on Hammurabi's legacy, it's clear that his influence extends far beyond the ancient world. Next, we'll uncover how Babylon's innovations didn't stop at the stars or the courts. They also shaped the very way we measure and understand the world around us. Now, let's turn our attention to another area where Babylon left an indelible mark: mathematics. While we often think of ancient civilizations in terms of their art, architecture, or laws, Babylon's contributions to mathematics were nothing short of revolutionary. In fact, many of the mathematical concepts we take for granted today have their roots in this ancient city. One of Babylon's most significant innovations was the development of the base 60 numeral system, also known as the sexagesimal system. Unlike the base 10 system we commonly use today, which is based on the number 10, the base 60 system uses 60 as its foundation. This might sound unusual, but its influence is still very much alive in our daily lives. For instance, the way we measure time, 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour, stems directly from this Babylonian system. But the impact of base 60 doesn't stop there. It also shaped how we measure angles. A full circle is divided into 360 degrees, a number that's perfectly divisible by 60. This made calculations and geometric measurements far more manageable for Babylonian scholars who were deeply invested in astronomy and land surveying. The system's versatility and practicality ensured its survival through the ages, influencing later civilizations like the Greeks and, ultimately, the modern world. Babylonian mathematicians didn't just stop at creating a new numeral system. They also made strides in algebra and geometry, solving complex problems that required advanced thinking for their time. Clay tablets from Babylon reveal intricate calculations, including square roots and quadratic equations, showcasing a level of mathematical sophistication that was centuries ahead of its time. What's truly remarkable is how these ancient innovations continue to shape our world. Every time you glance at a clock or measure an angle, you're engaging with a system that was perfected thousands of years ago in the heart of Mesopotamia. Babylon's mathematical legacy is a testament to the enduring power of human ingenuity, proving that even the most abstract ideas can stand the test of time. As we marvel at Babylon's mathematical achievements, it's worth considering how these ancient thinkers laid the groundwork for the scientific and technological advancements we enjoy today. Next, we'll explore another iconic symbol of Babylon, one that has sparked debates and inspired legends for centuries. Now, shifting our focus to one of Babylon's most enduring mysteries, we come to the legendary Tower of Babel. This iconic structure has captured imaginations for millennia, blending biblical narratives with historical intrigue. According to the Book of Genesis, the Tower of Babel was an ambitious project undertaken by humanity to reach the heavens, a symbol of human pride and unity. But when God saw their efforts, he confused their languages, scattering them across the earth and halting the construction. This story has become a powerful metaphor for the limits of human ambition and the consequences of defying divine will. But was the Tower of Babel a real structure or purely a myth? Many scholars believe it may have been inspired by Babylon's ziggurats, massive step temples that served as both religious centers and symbols of the city's power. The most famous of these, the Etemenanke, was dedicated to the god Marduk and stood at the heart of Babylon. Its towering height and grandeur would have made it a fitting candidate for the biblical tale. The connection between the Tower of Babel and Babylon's ziggurats isn't just speculative. Ancient texts and archaeological evidence suggest that the Etemenanke was a marvel of engineering, with multiple levels and a shrine at its summit. It's easy to see how such a structure could have inspired stories of a tower reaching toward the heavens. Yet, the true purpose of these ziggurats remains debated. Were they purely religious, or did they also serve as symbols of political power and human achievement? What makes the Tower of Babel so fascinating is its dual nature. It's both a historical enigma and a timeless allegory. On one hand, it reflects the ingenuity and ambition of ancient civilizations, showcasing their ability to dream big and build even bigger. On the other, it serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of overreaching and the complexities of human collaboration. As we ponder the mystery of the Tower of Babel, it's worth considering how this ancient story continues to resonate today. Whether as a symbol of human aspiration or a reminder of our limitations, the Tower of Babel remains a powerful testament to the enduring interplay between ambition, faith, and the unknown. Next, we'll uncover another hidden marvel of Babylon, its vast network of underground tunnels, which may have served purposes ranging from defense to divine rituals. Now, let's descend beneath the surface of Babylon to uncover one of its most fascinating secrets, its vast network of underground tunnels. While the city's towering ziggurats and grand walls captured the world's attention, what lay hidden below was equally remarkable. These tunnels stretching beneath the city were a testament to Babylon's ingenuity and resourcefulness, serving purposes that ranged from practical to mysterious. Archaeological evidence suggests that these tunnels were not just simple passageways but part of a sophisticated system designed to address the city's needs. One of their primary functions was likely water management. Babylon, situated between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, faced the constant challenge of controlling water flow, especially during floods. The tunnels may have acted as drainage systems, channeling excess water away from the city to prevent flooding and protect its structures. This kind of advanced engineering highlights how Babylon's architects and planners were far ahead of their time. But the tunnel's uses didn't stop there. Some historians believe they also played a crucial role in the city's defense. In times of siege, these underground passages could have provided secret routes for soldiers to move undetected, allowing them to outmaneuver enemies or launch surprise attacks. Imagine the advantage of having an entire network of hidden pathways beneath your feet, ready to be used in moments of crisis. Perhaps the most intriguing theory, however, is that these tunnels were used for secretive rituals or religious practices. Babylon was a city deeply rooted in spirituality, and its priests were known for their esoteric knowledge. It's possible that these underground spaces served as sacred sites for ceremonies or as places to store important religious artifacts, hidden away from the eyes of the uninitiated. The idea of these tunnels being shrouded in mystery adds another layer to Babylon's already rich tapestry of history and culture. What makes Babylon's underground tunnels so compelling is their versatility. They weren't just functional, they were a reflection of the city's ability to adapt and innovate, whether for survival, warfare, or spiritual expression. As we explore these hidden corridors, we're reminded that Babylon's greatness wasn't just about what was visible above ground, but also about the unseen marvels that supported its rise to power. Next, we'll turn our attention to another treasure of Babylon that has captivated historians and dreamers alike: the lost libraries, where countless cuneiform tablets held the wisdom of an ancient world. Now, let's step into the realm of knowledge and imagination as we explore one of Babylon's most tragic losses: the legendary lost libraries. These libraries were not just repositories of clay tablets. They were the beating heart of Babylonian intellectual life, housing centuries of wisdom, literature, and scientific discoveries. Imagine walking through halls filled with thousands of cuneiform tablets, each one a piece of a puzzle that helped shape the ancient world. The libraries of Babylon were among the earliest known collections of written knowledge, rivaling even the famed Library of Alexandria. They contained everything from legal codes and astronomical records to epic poems and medical texts. These tablets were meticulously organized, with scribes dedicating their lives to preserving and expanding this vast repository of human thought. It's a testament to how highly Babylon valued education and the written word, long before many other civilizations recognized their importance. But what makes the loss of these libraries so devastating is not just the sheer volume of knowledge they held, but the irreplaceable insights into Babylonian culture, science, and daily life. For instance, many of the tablets detailed advanced mathematical concepts, including the base 60 system that influences how we measure time and angles today. Others contain detailed observations of the stars, laying the groundwork for modern astronomy. The destruction of these libraries meant the loss of countless innovations and ideas that could have shaped the course of history even further. Historians believe that the libraries were likely destroyed during one of the many invasions Babylon faced, such as the Persian conquest or the later sacking by Alexander the Great. Fires, looting, and the passage of time erased much of this intellectual treasure, leaving only fragments for modern archaeologists to uncover. Each tablet that survives today is a precious glimpse into a world that once thrived on the pursuit of knowledge. The loss of Babylon's libraries serves as a stark reminder of how fragile human achievements can be. It's a story that resonates deeply in our modern age, where the preservation of knowledge remains as crucial as ever. As we reflect on this intellectual tragedy, we're reminded of the importance of safeguarding our own cultural and scientific heritage for future generations. Next, we'll uncover how Babylon's innovations in timekeeping continue to shape our lives today, from the way we measure hours to the very structure of our calendars. Now, let's turn our attention to something that affects every single one of us every single day: time. Babylon's influence on how we measure time is one of its most enduring legacies, and it's a system so ingrained in our lives that we rarely stop to think about its origins. The Babylonians were the first to divide the day into 24 hours and each hour into 60 minutes. This might seem like a small detail, but it's a system that has shaped the very rhythm of human life for thousands of years. The Babylonians were master mathematicians, and their base 60 system, which we explored earlier, played a key role in their approach to timekeeping. They chose 60 because it's a highly divisible number, making calculations easier. For example, 60 can be divided evenly by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, and 30. This flexibility made it ideal for measuring time, as well as angles and other quantities. But why 24 hours in a day? The Babylonians based this division on their observations of the stars and the movement of the sun. They divided the day into two parts: 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. This system was later adopted by the ancient Greeks and Romans and eventually spread across the world, becoming the global standard we use today. The concept of 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds in a minute also comes from the Babylonians. Their love for precision and their advanced understanding of mathematics allowed them to create a system that was both practical and elegant. It's fascinating to think that every time you check the clock, you're using a system that was perfected over 2,000 years ago in the heart of Mesopotamia. This Babylonian innovation didn't just influence timekeeping, it also shaped how we think about time itself. The idea of breaking the day into smaller, measurable units allowed for more organized societies, better planning, and even the development of modern science and technology. Without the Babylonians, our world might look very different. As we move forward, we'll explore another intriguing aspect of Babylon's legacy, the myths and legends surrounding its supposed curse, and how these stories have influenced both history and popular culture. Now, let's step into the realm of myth and mystery, where history intertwines with legend. Babylon, a city of grandeur and innovation, is also shrouded in tales of a supposed curse. This curse, often linked to biblical prophecies, has captured the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and storytellers alike. The idea of Babylon's curse stems largely from its portrayal in the Bible, particularly in the Book of Revelation, where it is described as a symbol of corruption and divine punishment. The city's fall is depicted as a consequence of its pride and excess, with prophecies foretelling its desolation. These vivid descriptions have fueled the belief that Babylon was cursed, a notion that has persisted for centuries. But the curse isn't just a matter of ancient texts. It has also influenced modern perceptions of the city, especially among archaeologists. Some excavators have reported strange occurrences during digs, from equipment malfunctions to unexpected setbacks, which they've attributed to the so-called curse. While these stories are often dismissed as coincidences, they add an air of intrigue to Babylon's already enigmatic history. Interestingly, the curse has also shaped how Babylon is remembered in popular culture. From literature to films, the city is often portrayed as a place of doom and decay, a cautionary tale of hubris and downfall. This enduring image has cemented Babylon's place not just in history, but in the collective imagination of humanity. As we peel back the layers of myth and reality, one thing becomes clear: whether or not the curse is real, its impact on how we view Babylon is undeniable. It serves as a reminder of the city's complex legacy, blending triumph and tragedy in equal measure. Next, we'll explore how Babylon's strategic location made it a vital hub on the Silk Road, connecting distant cultures and shaping the flow of trade and ideas across the ancient world. Now, let's shift our focus to Babylon's remarkable role as a crossroads of civilizations. Nestled in the heart of Mesopotamia, Babylon wasn't just a city of towering ziggurats and grand walls, it was also a vital hub on the ancient Silk Road. This sprawling network of trade routes connected the East and West, and Babylon stood at its very center, bridging cultures, goods, and ideas like no other city of its time. Imagine caravans laden with silk, spices, and precious gems winding their way through Babylon's bustling markets. Merchants from as far as China, India, Persia, and the Mediterranean would converge here, exchanging not only goods but also knowledge, art, and technology. Babylon became a melting pot of cultures where the traditions of the East met the innovations of the West, but Babylon's significance on the Silk Road went beyond commerce. The city was a cultural powerhouse where ideas flowed as freely as the goods traded in its markets. Babylonian astronomers shared their knowledge of the stars with travelers, while their mathematical advancements, like the base 60 system, influenced trade calculations across the ancient world. Even their legal systems, such as Hammurabi's code, left a lasting imprint on the societies that passed through. This exchange wasn't one-sided either. Babylon absorbed influences from the diverse cultures that traversed its streets. Persian art, Indian spices, and Greek philosophy all left their mark on the city, enriching its already vibrant tapestry. It's no exaggeration to say that Babylon was a living testament to the power of connection, a place where the world came together. As we reflect on Babylon's role in the Silk Road, it's clear that the city was more than just a stop along the way. It was a beacon of progress, a place where the seeds of globalization were sown thousands of years before the term even existed. Next, we'll uncover the mystery of Babylon's disappearance, exploring the factors that led to the decline of this once thriving metropolis and how it faded into the sands of time. Now, let's turn our attention to one of history's great enigmas, the mystery of Babylon's disappearance. Once a thriving metropolis at the heart of civilization, Babylon's decline was as dramatic as its rise. But what exactly caused this legendary city to fade into obscurity? The answer lies in a combination of invasions, environmental challenges, and shifting political tides. Babylon's downfall began with a series of invasions that weakened its hold on power. The city, which had once been the jewel of Mesopotamia, faced relentless attacks from neighboring empires. The Persians, under Cyrus the Great, were the first to conquer Babylon in the 6th century BCE, marking the beginning of its decline. Later, Alexander the Great captured the city, intending to make it the capital of his empire. But his sudden death left Babylon in a state of uncertainty, and it never regained its former glory. Environmental factors also played a significant role in Babylon's decline. The region's once fertile soil began to suffer from salinization, a process where salt accumulates in the ground, making it difficult to grow crops. This agricultural crisis weakened Babylon's economy and left its people struggling to sustain themselves. Additionally, the Euphrates River, which had been the lifeblood of the city, began to shift its course, further disrupting daily life and trade. As Babylon's political and economic power waned, its cultural influence also diminished. The city, which had once been a beacon of innovation and learning, gradually faded from the world stage. Over time, its grand structures crumbled, and its once bustling streets fell silent. By the time of the Islamic conquests in the 7th century CE, Babylon was little more than a shadow of its former self, its name whispered in legends rather than celebrated in reality. Yet, even in its decline, Babylon left an indelible mark on history. Its legacy lives on in the stories, laws, and innovations it inspired. As we explore the mystery of its disappearance, we're reminded that even the greatest civilizations are not immune to the forces of time and change. Next, we'll delve into Babylon's unique flood myths, comparing them to other ancient tales and uncovering what they reveal about humanity's earliest understanding of the world. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of Babylon's flood myths, where ancient stories reveal humanity's earliest attempts to make sense of the world around them. Among these tales, the Epic of Gilgamesh stands out as one of the most compelling. This Babylonian epic, written on clay tablets thousands of years ago, tells the story of a great flood sent by the gods to destroy humanity. Sound familiar? That's because it shares striking similarities with other ancient flood stories, like the biblical tale of Noah's Ark. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the hero Utnapishtim is warned by the god E to build a massive boat to save himself, his family, and pairs of animals from the impending deluge. After the floodwaters recede, Utnapishtim releases a dove and a raven to find dry land, a detail that echoes the biblical narrative. These parallels suggest that flood myths were not unique to Babylon, but were part of a shared cultural memory across ancient civilizations. But why were flood stories so common? For early societies, floods were both a source of life and destruction. Rivers like the Euphrates and Tigris brought fertile soil and water for crops, but they could also unleash devastating floods that wiped out entire communities. These events were so impactful that they became woven into the myths and legends of the time, serving as cautionary tales about the power of nature and the will of the gods. Babylon's flood myths also offer a glimpse into how early humans understood their place in the world. the idea of divine punishment and survival through obedience reflects a worldview where humans were at the mercy of higher powers. At the same time, these stories highlight humanity's resilience and ingenuity, as seen in Utnapishtim's resourcefulness in building the boat and navigating the flood. By comparing Babylon's flood myths to those of other cultures, we gain a deeper understanding of how ancient societies grappled with universal themes like survival, morality, and the relationship between humans and the divine. These stories remind us that despite the vast distances and differences between civilizations, people have always sought to explain the mysteries of life through storytelling. Next, we'll uncover the secret language of Babylonian priests, exploring how their esoteric rituals and hidden knowledge shaped the spiritual and political life of this ancient city. Now, let's step into the shadowy world of Babylonian priests, where hidden knowledge and secret languages were the keys to power and influence. In ancient Babylon, priests were not just spiritual leaders, they were also the gatekeepers of sacred wisdom, using esoteric rituals and coded languages to maintain their authority over society. One of the most intriguing aspects of Babylonian priesthood was their use of a secret language, known only to the initiated. This language, often referred to as the tongue of the gods, was used during religious ceremonies and rituals to communicate with the divine. By keeping this knowledge exclusive, priests ensured that only they could interpret the will of the gods, solidifying their role as intermediaries between the heavens and the people. These rituals were elaborate and deeply symbolic, designed to invoke the favor of the gods and protect the city from harm. For example, during the Akitu festival, the Babylonian New Year celebration, priests performed complex ceremonies to reaffirm the king's divine right to rule and to ensure the renewal of the cosmos. The use of secret chants, gestures, and symbols during these rituals added an air of mystery and reverence, further enhancing the priest's status. But the power of the priests extended beyond the spiritual realm. Their control over sacred knowledge gave them significant influence in political and social matters. Kings and rulers often sought their counsel, believing that the priest's connection to the gods could guide decisions and secure prosperity. This intertwining of religion and politics allowed the priesthood to wield immense power, shaping the course of Babylonian history. The secret language of the priests also played a role in education and scholarship. Young initiates underwent rigorous training to learn the complex cuneiform script and the hidden meanings behind sacred texts. This education was not just about memorization. It was a transformative process that prepared them to carry on the traditions of their predecessors. By exploring the secret language and rituals of Babylonian priests, we gain insight into how they maintained their authority and shaped the spiritual and cultural identity of Babylon. Their legacy reminds us of the enduring power of knowledge and the ways in which it can be used to influence society. Next, we'll shine a light on Babylon's forgotten queens, uncovering the stories of powerful women who left their mark on this ancient civilization. Now, let's turn our attention to the remarkable women who shaped Babylon's history, often overshadowed by their male counterparts. While kings and warriors dominate the historical narrative, Babylon's forgotten queens played pivotal roles in the city's rise and legacy. These women were not just figureheads, they were leaders, strategists, and cultural icons who left an indelible mark on one of the ancient world's greatest civilizations. One of the most legendary figures among them was Queen Semiramis, a name that echoes through history as a symbol of power and ambition. Though her story is steeped in myth, many historians believe she was based on a real Assyrian queen who ruled Babylon. Semiramis is credited with ambitious building projects, including the construction of aqueducts and gardens, which some argue may have inspired the later tales of the Hanging Gardens. Her reign was marked by both military prowess and cultural innovation, showcasing the multifaceted role women could play in leadership, but Semiramis was not alone. Other queens and influential women in Babylon wielded significant power, often acting as advisors, regents, or even co-rulers. For instance, Queen Adad-Gupi, the mother of King Nabonidus, played a crucial role in stabilizing the kingdom during a turbulent period. Her diplomatic skills and religious reforms helped maintain Babylon's influence, proving that women could shape the course of history from behind the scenes as well as on the throne. These queens also contributed to Babylon's cultural and spiritual life. Many were patrons of the arts and religion, commissioning temples and supporting the priesthood. Their involvement in religious ceremonies and festivals reinforced their legitimacy and connected them to the divine, much like their male counterparts. This blend of political and spiritual authority allowed them to navigate the complexities of Babylonian society with remarkable skill. Yet, despite their achievements, the stories of Babylon's queens have often been overlooked or minimized in historical accounts. This oversight reflects broader trends in how women's contributions have been recorded or erased throughout history. By rediscovering their stories, we not only honor their legacy, but also gain a more complete understanding of Babylon's rich and complex history. As we continue our journey through Babylon's mysteries, we'll explore how the city's agricultural roots shaped its calendar and influenced civilizations far beyond its borders. Now, shifting our focus to the rhythms of time, let's uncover how Babylon's calendar was deeply intertwined with the land itself. The Babylonian calendar wasn't just a tool for marking days, it was a reflection of the city's agricultural heartbeat. Built around the cycles of the moon, this lunar calendar was meticulously designed to align with the seasons, ensuring that farmers knew exactly when to plant, harvest, and prepare for the changing weather. Each month began with the sighting of the new moon, a practice that kept the calendar in harmony with nature's rhythms. What made the Babylonian calendar truly revolutionary was its connection to agriculture. The year was divided into 12 lunar months, with an extra month added periodically to keep the calendar in sync with the solar year. This adjustment, known as intercalation, ensured that festivals and agricultural activities always fell in the right season. For example, the month of Nisan, which marked the beginning of the barley harvest, was a time of celebration and renewal. This careful balance between lunar and solar cycles allowed Babylonians to thrive in a region where farming was both a necessity and a way of life. But the influence of the Babylonian calendar didn't stop at the city's walls. Its structure and principles spread far and wide, shaping the calendars of later civilizations. The Hebrew calendar, for instance, adopted the lunar framework and intercalation system, using it to determine religious festivals and agricultural cycles. Similarly, the Islamic calendar, which is still in use today, traces its roots back to the Babylonian model, emphasizing the lunar months as a way to mark time. This blending of astronomy, agriculture, and culture highlights Babylon's role as a pioneer in timekeeping. By creating a calendar that was both practical and deeply connected to the natural world, the Babylonians left a legacy that continues to influence how we measure time today. As we move forward, we'll explore how Babylon's innovations in writing helped spread knowledge across the ancient world, shaping the course of history in ways that still resonate today. Now, let's turn our attention to one of Babylon's most enduring contributions to human civilization, the spread of writing. At the heart of this story is cuneiform, the wedge-shaped script that became the foundation of written communication in the ancient world. Developed by the Sumerians and later adopted by the Babylonians, cuneiform was more than just a way to record transactions. It was a tool for preserving knowledge, laws, and stories, shaping the way societies communicated and remembered their history. The Babylonians took cuneiform to new heights, using it to document everything from royal decrees to epic tales like the Epic of Gilgamesh. This script, etched into clay tablets with a stylus, became a universal medium for recording ideas across Mesopotamia. But its influence didn't stop there. As Babylon grew into a cultural and economic powerhouse, cuneiform spread far beyond its borders, carried by traders, diplomats, and scholars. One of the most fascinating aspects of cuneiform is its adaptability. Originally used for Sumerian, it was later adapted to write Akkadian, the language of Babylon, and eventually other languages like Elamite and Hittite. This versatility made it a bridge between cultures, allowing ideas to flow freely across the ancient world. For example, Babylonian legal codes written in cuneiform influenced the legal systems of neighboring regions, while their astronomical records became a foundation for later scientific advancements. The impact of cuneiform reached as far as Egypt, where it influenced the development of hieroglyphics. Babylonian merchants and diplomats brought their writing system to the Nile Valley, where it inspired Egyptian scribes to refine their own methods of recording information. This exchange of ideas highlights Babylon's role as a cultural hub, connecting distant civilizations through the power of the written word. By preserving knowledge and facilitating communication, cuneiform laid the groundwork for the spread of literacy and learning. It allowed societies to document their achievements, share their stories, and pass down wisdom to future generations. In many ways, the legacy of Babylonian writing is still with us today, as the principles of recording and sharing information continue to shape how we communicate. As we continue our journey, we'll uncover another layer of Babylon's mysteries, the disappearance of countless artifacts that once told the story of this remarkable civilization. What happened to these treasures and where might they be today? Let's find out. Now, let's delve into one of the most puzzling chapters of Babylon's history, the mystery of its missing artifacts. Over the centuries, countless treasures from this ancient civilization have vanished, leaving behind a trail of questions and speculation. From looted relics to items lost in the chaos of war, the fate of these artifacts remains one of Babylon's greatest enigmas. Babylon was once a treasure trove of cultural and historical wealth, home to stunning works of art, intricate jewelry, and priceless cuneiform tablets. Yet, as empires rose and fell, many of these items were carried away by conquerors, sold to collectors, or simply lost to time. Some were taken during the Persian conquest, while others disappeared during the invasions of Alexander the Great. Even in more recent history, the looting of archaeological sites has stripped Babylon of many of its remaining treasures. One of the most infamous examples is the Ishtar Gate, a masterpiece of Babylonian architecture. While parts of the gate were excavated and reconstructed in museums, many of its original glazed bricks and decorations are still missing. Similarly, countless cuneiform tablets, which once held the secrets of Babylonian law, astronomy, and literature, have been scattered across the globe, ending up in private collections or forgotten archives. But where are these artifacts today? Some are believed to be hidden in plain sight, stored in the basements of museums or tucked away in private collections. Others may have been destroyed, their stories lost forever. There are even rumors that certain treasures were smuggled out of the region during times of conflict, only to resurface in unexpected places. The search for these missing artifacts continues to captivate archaeologists and historians. Advances in technology, such as satellite imaging and digital databases, have made it easier to track down and identify lost items. Yet the sheer scale of the task is daunting. With so many artifacts still unaccounted for, the mystery of Babylon's missing treasures remains a tantalizing puzzle. As we reflect on this loss, it's worth considering what these artifacts could tell us about Babylon's history and culture. Each missing piece is a fragment of a story waiting to be rediscovered. And as we move forward, we'll explore another layer of Babylon's legacy, its connection to ancient magic and the rituals that once defined this extraordinary civilization. Now, let's step into the mystical world of Babylon, where magic and the divine were deeply intertwined with everyday life. Babylon wasn't just a city of towering walls and grand architecture. It was also a hub of ancient magical practices that shaped its culture and spirituality. From divination to astrology, the Babylonians believed that the secrets of the universe could be unlocked through rituals and communication with the gods. At the heart of Babylonian magic was the belief that the gods controlled every aspect of life from the harvest to the stars. To understand their will, priests and practitioners turned to divination, a practice that involved interpreting signs and omens. One of the most common methods was hepatoscopy, the study of animal livers. Priests would examine the liver of a sacrificed sheep, believing its shape and markings held messages from the gods. This practice was so revered that it influenced neighboring cultures, including the Greeks and Romans. Astrology also played a central role in Babylonian magic. The Babylonians were among the first to map the stars and connect celestial movements to human events. They believed that the positions of the planets and stars could predict everything from the fate of kings to the outcome of battles. This early form of astrology laid the groundwork for the zodiac systems we know today, with many of their constellations and interpretations still in use. But Babylonian magic wasn't just about predicting the future, it was also about influencing it. Rituals to communicate with the gods were a regular part of life, often involving offerings, incantations, and elaborate ceremonies. One such ritual was the Akitu festival, a 12-day celebration that marked the new year. During this time, the king would undergo a symbolic humiliation to reaffirm his bond with the gods, ensuring the city's prosperity for the coming year. The Babylonians also believed in the power of protective magic. Amulets and talismans inscribed with prayers or symbols were worn to ward off evil spirits and bring good fortune. Even their architecture had a magical purpose. The Ishtar Gate, with its depictions of dragons and bulls, was not just a symbol of power but also a protective barrier against malevolent forces. As we explore these ancient practices, it's fascinating to see how deeply magic was woven into the fabric of Babylonian society. It wasn't just superstition, it was a way of understanding and interacting with the world. And as we move forward, we'll uncover another layer of Babylon's legacy, the powerful women who shaped its history, from queens to priestesses, and their often overlooked contributions to this remarkable civilization. Now, let's turn our attention to a pivotal moment in history that not only transformed Babylon, but also left an indelible mark on the world: the Babylonian diaspora. This period, often referred to as the Babylonian exile, began in the 6th century BCE when the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar II conquered the kingdom of Judah and deported a significant portion of its population to Babylon. This event wasn't just a political upheaval, it was a cultural and spiritual turning point that reshaped the identity of the Jewish people and influenced the course of history. During their exile, the Jewish community faced immense challenges, from adapting to a foreign land to preserving their traditions and faith. Yet, it was in Babylon that they began to compile and codify their religious texts, laying the foundation for what would become the Hebrew Bible. The experience of exile forced them to rethink their relationship with their faith, leading to the development of new religious practices and a stronger emphasis on communal worship. Synagogues, for example, emerged as centers of prayer and study during this time, a practice that continues to this day. The Babylonian diaspora also had a profound impact on Jewish culture. Cut off from their homeland, the exiles had to find ways to maintain their identity in a foreign environment. This led to the creation of a rich literary tradition, including the writing of psalms, prayers, and historical accounts that reflected their struggles and hopes. The Book of Ezekiel, written during this period, is a testament to the resilience and creativity of the Jewish people in exile. But the influence of the Babylonian diaspora extended far beyond the Jewish community. The interactions between the exiles and their Babylonian hosts led to a fascinating exchange of ideas. Babylonian astronomy, mathematics, and legal concepts found their way into Jewish thought, enriching their intellectual and spiritual traditions. At the same time, Jewish monotheism and ethical teachings began to influence Babylonian society, creating a unique cultural fusion. The end of the exile came with the rise of the Persian Empire when Cyrus the Great allowed the Jewish people to return to their homeland. However, the experience of the diaspora left a lasting legacy. It shaped the Jewish people's understanding of themselves as a global community, bound together by faith and tradition rather than geography. This sense of unity and resilience continues to define Jewish identity to this day. As we reflect on the Babylonian diaspora, it's clear that this period was more than just a historical event. It was a transformative experience that shaped the course of religious and cultural history. And as we move forward, we'll uncover another layer of Babylon's legacy, the forgotten innovations that emerged from this ancient civilization and how they continue to influence our world. Now, let's shift our focus to a fascinating aspect of Babylon that often goes unnoticed: its groundbreaking innovations. While Babylon is celebrated for its grand architecture and cultural achievements, it was also a hub of ingenuity, giving rise to inventions that laid the groundwork for many modern systems we rely on today. One of Babylon's most remarkable contributions was the creation of the first known maps. These weren't just simple sketches. They were detailed representations of land, cities, and even trade routes. Babylonian maps were used for everything from planning agricultural fields to navigating long-distance trade, showcasing their advanced understanding of geography and spatial organization. These early maps were a precursor to the sophisticated cartography we use today, proving that Babylonians were pioneers in visualizing the world around them. Another area where Babylon excelled was in irrigation. The region's arid climate made water management a critical challenge, but the Babylonians rose to the occasion with ingenious solutions. They developed complex networks of canals, dikes, and reservoirs to control the flow of water from the Euphrates River, ensuring their crops thrived even in dry seasons. This mastery of irrigation not only supported their agricultural economy but also influenced later civilizations who adopted and refined these techniques. But perhaps one of the most surprising innovations was Babylon's early form of banking. Long before modern banks existed, Babylonians had established systems for lending, borrowing, and even keeping financial records. They used clay tablets to document loans, interest rates, and transactions, creating a rudimentary but effective financial system. This early banking laid the foundation for the economic structures we see today, demonstrating Babylon's forward-thinking approach to commerce and trade. These forgotten innovations remind us that Babylon was more than just a city of grandeur and myth. It was a place of practical brilliance. From mapping the world to managing water and money, the Babylonians were true pioneers, shaping the foundations of modern civilization in ways we often overlook. As we continue our journey through Babylon's mysteries, we'll next explore the enigmatic search for its royal tombs, where the stories of its greatest kings remain hidden beneath the sands of time. Now, let's turn our attention to one of Babylon's most enduring mysteries: the search for its royal tombs. Despite the grandeur of Babylon's kings and the wealth of artifacts uncovered over the centuries, the final resting places of its most powerful rulers, like Nebuchadnezzar II, have remained frustratingly elusive. This mystery has puzzled archaeologists and historians for generations, sparking countless expeditions and theories about where these tombs might lie. The tombs of Babylonian kings were believed to be as magnificent as their reigns, filled with treasures and inscriptions that could shed light on their lives and legacies. Yet, unlike the well-documented tombs of Egyptian pharaohs, Babylon's royal burial sites have proven far more difficult to locate. One reason for this is the city's turbulent history. Over the centuries, Babylon faced invasions, looting, and natural decay, which may have destroyed or obscured these sacred sites. Additionally, the Babylonians themselves may have taken great care to conceal the tombs, ensuring they remained hidden from both enemies and grave robbers. Nebuchadnezzar II, one of Babylon's most famous rulers, is a prime example of this mystery. Known for his monumental building projects, including the Ishtar Gate and the Hanging Gardens, his tomb has never been found. Some believe it lies beneath the ruins of Babylon itself, buried under layers of sediment and debris. Others speculate that it could be located in a remote, undiscovered location far from the city's center. The lack of clear records or inscriptions pointing to its whereabouts only deepens the intrigue. The search for these tombs isn't just about uncovering treasure. It's about piecing together the stories of Babylon's greatest leaders. Each tomb could hold clues about their reigns, their beliefs, and the culture they shaped. For now, the royal tombs of Babylon remain one of history's most tantalizing unsolved puzzles, a reminder of how much we still have to learn about this ancient civilization. As we move forward, we'll explore how Babylon's architectural legacy continues to inspire modern designs, bridging the gap between the ancient world and the cities we live in today. Now, let's shift our focus to how Babylon's architectural genius continues to shape the world we live in today. The ancient city's iconic structures, like its towering ziggurats and grand monumental gates, have left an indelible mark on modern architecture and urban design. These ancient marvels weren't just feats of engineering. They were expressions of power, spirituality, and innovation, and their influence can still be seen in the skylines and cityscapes of our time. Take the ziggurat, for example. These massive step temples with their terraced levels reaching toward the heavens were designed to connect the earthly and the divine. Today, their influence is evident in the design of modern skyscrapers and public monuments. The stepped profiles of buildings like the iconic Transamerica Pyramid in San Francisco or the Shard in London echo the ziggurat's layered structure, blending form and function in a way that feels both ancient and futuristic. Even the concept of rooftop gardens, popular in urban design today, can trace its roots back to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which were said to have been built on a series of elevated terraces. Then there's the Ishtar Gate with its vibrant blue glazed bricks and intricate animal motifs. This monumental entrance wasn't just a gateway, it was a statement of Babylon's grandeur and cultural identity. Modern architects have drawn inspiration from its bold use of color and decorative artistry. Think of the colorful facades of contemporary buildings or the way public spaces incorporate art and symbolism to tell a story. The Ishtar Gate's legacy lives on in the way we design spaces that are not only functional but also visually striking and meaningful. Babylon's influence even extends to urban planning. The city's grid-like layout, with its wide processional streets and organized neighborhoods, set a precedent for how cities are designed today. The idea of creating spaces that are both practical and awe-inspiring, blending utility with beauty, is a principle that modern architects and city planners still strive to achieve. As we look at the buildings and cities around us, it's remarkable to think how much we owe to the vision of Babylon's architects. Their innovations, born thousands of years ago, continue to inspire and shape the way we build and live. And as we move forward, we'll explore how Babylon's enduring legacy has captured the imagination of storytellers, artists, and creators in popular culture, keeping its mysteries alive for new generations to discover. Now, let's step into the world of storytelling and imagination, where Babylon's legacy lives on in ways that might surprise you. From the silver screen to the pages of novels, Babylon has become a symbol of grandeur, mystery, and human ambition, captivating audiences across generations. Its influence in pop culture is as vast and enduring as the city itself, weaving its way into the fabric of modern storytelling. Take Hollywood, for instance. Babylon has been the backdrop for countless epic films, often portrayed as a city of both splendor and downfall. Think of classic biblical epics like the Ten Commandments, where Babylon is depicted as a place of power and excess, or more recent blockbusters that reimagine its towering ziggurats and bustling streets. These portrayals often highlight the city's dual nature, its beauty and its fragility, reminding us of the timeless themes of rise and fall that resonate with audiences today. But it's not just movies. Babylon has also inspired authors and artists for centuries. In literature, it appears as a setting for tales of adventure, intrigue, and moral lessons. From the pages of ancient texts to modern fantasy novels, Babylon's mystique continues to spark creativity. Writers often draw on its rich history and symbolism to explore themes of power, ambition, and the human condition, making it a recurring motif in stories that seek to delve into the complexities of civilization. Even in the world of art, Babylon's influence is unmistakable. Painters and sculptors have long been fascinated by its iconic structures, like the Ishtar Gate and the Hanging Gardens, using them as inspiration for works that blend history with imagination. These artistic interpretations keep the spirit of Babylon alive, allowing us to experience its grandeur through a new lens. And let's not forget music and video games, where Babylon often serves as a setting for epic quests and dramatic narratives. Whether it's a song that evokes the city's ancient allure or a game that lets players explore its streets, Babylon's legacy continues to inspire creators in every medium. What makes Babylon so enduring in pop culture? Perhaps it's the way it embodies both the heights of human achievement and the inevitability of decline. Or maybe it's the sheer mystery that surrounds it, inviting us to imagine what life was like in this ancient metropolis. Whatever the reason, Babylon's story remains as compelling today as it was thousands of years ago, proving that some legends never fade. As we wrap up our journey through Babylon's fascinating history, it's clear that this ancient city is more than just a relic of the past. It's a living, breathing part of our cultural imagination. And as we move forward, we'll explore how Babylon's influence extends even further, shaping not just how we build and create, but how we think about the world and our place in it. Now, let's turn our attention to something that might surprise you: the way Babylon's language has quietly shaped the way we speak today. While the ancient city may seem distant, its influence lingers in the very words we use, especially in fields like law and science. It's a fascinating reminder of how deeply interconnected our modern world is with the past. Take legal terminology, for example. Many of the concepts we associate with justice and governance today can be traced back to Babylon. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the earliest known legal systems, introduced ideas like innocent until proven guilty and the principle of proportional punishment. These foundational ideas didn't just stay in Babylon, they traveled through time, influencing Roman law and eventually shaping the legal systems we rely on today. Even the word law itself has roots that can be linked to ancient Mesopotamian languages, showing how Babylon's legacy is woven into the fabric of our legal vocabulary. But it doesn't stop there. Babylon's contributions to science and mathematics have also left their mark on modern language. The base 60 system they developed, which gave us 60 seconds in a minute and 360 degrees in a circle, is still reflected in the way we talk about time and geometry. Terms like minute and second come from Latin, but their origins can be traced back to Babylonian innovations. Even in astronomy, where Babylonian scholars mapped the stars and predicted celestial events, their terminology influenced later Greek and Arabic texts, which in turn shaped the scientific language we use today. What's truly remarkable is how these ancient words and ideas have traveled across centuries and cultures, adapting and evolving along the way. They remind us that language is more than just a tool for communication. It's a living record of human history, carrying the echoes of civilizations long gone. So the next time you hear a legal term or a scientific concept, take a moment to think about its journey. Chances are it might have started in the bustling streets of Babylon thousands of years ago. As we continue to explore Babylon's enduring legacy, it's clear that this ancient city's influence isn't just confined to history books or archaeological sites. It's alive in the words we speak, the laws we follow, and the way we understand the world around us. And as we move forward, we'll see how Babylon's impact extends even further, shaping not just our language but our very way of thinking. Now, let's step into the realm of the divine and uncover how Babylon's spiritual legacy has left an indelible mark on the world's major religions. The city wasn't just a hub of law and science. It was also a cradle of religious thought, where myths and rituals laid the groundwork for beliefs that would shape civilizations for millennia. One of the most striking examples is the Babylonian creation myth, the Enuma Elish. This epic tale of gods, chaos, and the birth of the world bears striking similarities to the creation stories found in the Bible. The idea of a divine being bringing order out of chaos, the concept of a great flood, and even the structure of the heavens and earth, these themes resonate deeply with the Genesis account. Scholars believe that these parallels aren't coincidental. Instead, they suggest that Babylonian myths influenced the religious narratives of the ancient Israelites, who later incorporated these ideas into their own sacred texts. But the influence doesn't stop there. Babylon's religious practices also played a role in shaping the rituals and symbols of later faiths. Take, for instance, the Babylonian New Year festival known as Akitu. This celebration, which marked the renewal of the cosmos and the reaffirmation of the king's divine mandate, included rituals of purification, processions, and the recitation of sacred texts. These elements can be seen echoed in the liturgical traditions of Judaism, Christianity, and even Islam, where themes of renewal, repentance, and divine authority remain central. Even the concept of a savior figure, so central to Christianity, has roots that can be traced back to Babylon. The Babylonian god Marduk, who defeated the chaos monster Tiamat and brought order to the universe, was seen as a protector and redeemer. This archetype of a divine hero who overcomes evil and restores balance finds its way into the messianic traditions of later religions, including the figure of Jesus in Christianity. And let's not forget the influence of Babylonian astrology and divination on religious thought. The Babylonians believed that the movements of the stars and planets were messages from the gods guiding human destiny. This belief system not only shaped their own religious practices, but also influenced the development of Jewish mysticism, Christian eschatology, and Islamic cosmology. The idea that the heavens hold divine secrets continues to resonate in religious traditions to this day. What's truly fascinating is how these ancient Babylonian ideas were adapted and reinterpreted by later cultures, evolving into the rich tapestry of beliefs we see today. They remind us that religion, like language, is a living, evolving force, shaped by the exchange of ideas across time and space. So the next time you hear a biblical story or participate in a religious ritual, consider its journey. It might just have begun in the temples and ziggurats of Babylon, where priests once gazed at the stars and sought to understand the mysteries of the divine. As we continue to explore Babylon's legacy, it's clear that this ancient city's influence extends far beyond its walls, shaping not just how we speak or govern, but how we understand the sacred. And as we move forward, we'll see how Babylon's impact continues to ripple through history, connecting us to a past that still speaks to us today. Now, let's turn our attention to the environmental challenges that Babylon faced, challenges that ultimately played a significant role in the city's decline. While Babylon is often remembered for its grandeur and innovation, it also serves as a cautionary tale about the delicate balance between human ambition and the natural world. One of the most pressing issues Babylon encountered was soil salinity. Over centuries of intensive agriculture, the fertile land surrounding the city became increasingly saturated with salt. This buildup, caused by the evaporation of irrigation water, gradually rendered the soil less productive, making it harder to sustain the large population that depended on it. The once thriving agricultural system began to falter, weakening Babylon's economic foundation and contributing to its eventual decline. But soil salinity wasn't the only environmental challenge Babylon faced. The city's reliance on the Euphrates River for water and transportation also became a double-edged sword. Over time, the river's course began to shift, a natural process that was exacerbated by human activity. As the Euphrates moved further away from the city, it became increasingly difficult to maintain the intricate irrigation systems that Babylon's survival depended on. Without a steady water supply, the city's ability to grow food and sustain its population was severely compromised. This shift in the river's course not only disrupted daily life, but also left Babylon more vulnerable to external threats as its defenses and infrastructure began to deteriorate. These environmental challenges offer valuable lessons for modern cities, many of which face similar issues today. The story of Babylon reminds us that even the most advanced civilizations are not immune to the consequences of environmental mismanagement. Modern urban centers, particularly those in arid regions, must carefully balance their water usage and agricultural practices to avoid the pitfalls that befell Babylon. Sustainable irrigation techniques, soil conservation, and proactive management of natural resources are essential to ensuring long-term resilience. Moreover, Babylon's experience highlights the importance of adaptability in the face of environmental change. As climate change continues to impact ecosystems worldwide, cities must be prepared to respond to shifting conditions, whether it's rising sea levels, changing rainfall patterns, or the depletion of natural resources. By learning from Babylon's struggles, we can better equip ourselves to build cities that are not only prosperous but also sustainable for generations to come. As we reflect on Babylon's environmental challenges, it's clear that the city's story is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of human societies and the natural world. And as we move forward, this ancient city's legacy continues to offer insights that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. As we wrap up our journey through the fascinating world of Babylon, let's take a moment to reflect on the incredible insights we've uncovered. From the controversial origins of the Hanging Gardens to the advanced astronomy that shaped our understanding of the stars, Babylon's legacy is a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. We've explored the city's impenetrable walls, the hidden symbolism of the Ishtar Gate, and the groundbreaking legal principles of Hammurabi's code, all of which continue to influence our world today. The mysteries of Babylon's underground tunnels, its lost libraries, and its role in shaping modern timekeeping remind us of the profound impact this ancient civilization has had on history. But Babylon's story is not just one of triumph, it's also a cautionary tale. The environmental challenges that contributed to its decline, from soil salinity to the shifting Euphrates River, offer valuable lessons for modern societies grappling with similar issues. The city's forgotten queens, its connection to ancient magic, and its influence on religious thought reveal a civilization as complex as it was influential. And let's not forget Babylon's enduring presence in pop culture, a testament to its timeless allure. These 25 intriguing facts about Babylon paint a vivid picture of a civilization that was both ahead of its time and deeply rooted in the challenges of its environment. They remind us that history is not just a collection of dates and events, but a rich tapestry of human experiences, innovations, and struggles. Babylon's story invites us to think critically about the past and consider how its lessons can guide us in the present. So, what do you think? Which of these facts about Babylon surprised you the most? Are there other mysteries of this ancient city that you'd like to explore further? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Babylon's secrets, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our next historical adventure. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering the stories that shape our world.